Hello there, my lovelies. You alright? Sorry, I haven't uploaded a video for a couple of weeks, isn't it? Yeah, it's just I like to kind of just focus on the Lord. So I've done a 5-day fast, and yeah, it's great when I do my fast and pray and worship the Lord and sing praises to Him. There is a revival within me, like, wow, I feel so refreshed and different, and yeah, man, I feel wonderful. Always amazing what the Lord does, so He works on everyone, we're kind of work in progress, isn't it? So we come to our Lord when we're frustrated, and He knows my frustration for sure. Yeah, I've been frustrated a lot, been frustrated with the people a lot. I just yeah, looking at the behavior of people, and yeah, it's very, very clear there is a mass scale of brainwashing going on, and it's like a spell being put on, and we as Christians, we're supposed to stand out from the world and not be conformed by it, and ask the Lord to help us renew our minds, so yeah, it just really, like, I don't know. I'm just, what's going on? I can't even tell the difference between a non-believer and a Christian these days, because they're all wearing masks, There is a reason, it's a symbolic reason, in fact, of wearing a mask. Shh. Keep your mouth shut. That's what it is. I don't even know what to say anymore. Seriously, I'm lost with words. But so I'm going to read this to you. I mean, I've always been fascinated how the mind works. So I just wanted to share this tactic that's been used for thousands of years, by manipulators. And they're very, very cunning. So, I mean, this is, someone who's narcissistic, and he or she is like trying to control their victim. But the techniques are used on this one in particular is obviously done on a mass scale. So this is fear and social control tactics. And let me read it to you. So the first tactic to be used in brainwashing is typically to isolate the victim, especially from their friends and family. The reason for doing this is so that the victim only has the manipulator to talk to get their information and ideas from. And they do not have to worry about the third party coming in and questioning what's going on. So this whole reasoning of, like, isolation, keep yourself away from everyone, social distancing and what have you, don't talk to no one. Don't question what's going on at the moment. You just listen to what we got to say. Watch that television, innit? So yeah, this is great. This is how they, yeah. So number 1 is isolation, man. All right, number 2, attacks on self-esteem. So now that the victim has been isolated, he or she has to be broken down so that the manipulation can start rebuilding them in the image they desire. So all of this smell of fear, I see in a lot of people, wearing masks and, abiding their stupid rules. That's the image they desire. They all look the same to me. Okay, a person can only be brainwashed if their manipulator is in superior position to them. You know, your so-called government. And you know what government means, don't you? Someone who governs your mind. Come on, man. Why would you let anyone govern your mind? They blatantly tell you. But, you know, carry on. These attacks could be in the form of ridiculing or mocking the victim or intimidation. There you go. So, attacks on self-esteem, number 2. Number 3, mental abuse. The manipulator will try to brainwash their victims by mentally torturing them. They will tell them lies. You know where that comes from. And embarrass them with the truth in front of others. Or they could bully their victims by badgering them and not allowing them any personal space. So, you know, with all this fear, lies on telly, follow the narrative, everyone, don't question it, you know. And you got, you know, they've got their coppers there, you know, the old bill to do their dirty work in the form of bullying on a mental scale as well as physical, innit? And we come to that, number 4. But those coppers, man, they need to be removed from public services permanently, you know, and charged with crimes in violation of the Criminal Justice and Courts Act 2015. They're supposed to be civil servants, serving the people, you know. And it's just twisted, upside down, this society. Okay, so number 4, physical abuse. This could include depriving victims of their sleep, keeping them cold and hungry, actual bodily harm through violent behaviour. There are also other more subtle ways that a manipulator can use, such as keeping noise levels up, having lights that flicker on and off all the time, and lowering or raising temperature in the room. I mean, okay, they're not using every single thing here, but, you know, people are stressed out. You know, the economy is collapsing. People might lose their homes. How they're feeding their kids. They're stressed out, can't sleep. There is you know, every time you go to the shop, you can't get everything you want. Food shortages. There is this fear of future hunger. Can you see the Hunger Games? Hunger Games, come on. This is just the beginning, peeps, I'm telling you. Okay, so number 5, repetitive music and visuals. So studies have shown that if you play a repetitive beat, most ideally one that ranges from 45 to 72 beats per minute, like your heart rate, you can induce an extremely hypnotic state. So this is when your consciousness goes into the alpha state. And that's where you can easily manipulate people, you know. They're more likely, 25% more likely to do that than if you were in that better state frequency. So tell a big lie enough times over and over again until they believe it to be true. You heard that quote, didn't you? So, yeah, I mean, that's where that big box, you know, screen, that's their device. You just sit at home and let the manipulator box hypnotise you. And you do what you're told. Okay, number 6. Only allowing contact with other brainwashed members. So, by only allowing contact with those who are already brainwashed, the manipulator is creating a situation whereby peer pressure comes into play. Everybody wants to be liked and accepted. Of course they do. We know that. Social media and all that lark. especially if they are new member to the group. And then it continues, you know, like with us versus them. And I see that a lot. Again, this is all about being accepted into a group and the best group as well. You know, mine is better than yours. So, you know, it's the manipulator is immediately offering the victim a chance to choose which group they want to belong to. Their goal is now to achieve absolute obedience and loyalty. You can't question the narrative. Don't do it. You're going to be ridiculed, you know. But that's what they do, you know, turn people against each other, you know, and it works. It always works. Number 8, love bombing. Okay, so this tactic is whereby the victim is drawn into the group by physical touching. Obviously, you can't do that yet. Sharing intimate thoughts, though, and emotional bonding, all through excessive affection and constant validation. So you see all these clapping idiots, you know, and snitching societies, you know, go and snitch at their neighbours. So this is the main point. Brainwashed victims have more rigid neural pathways than others. This is why they find it hard to rethink their situation once they've been brainwashed. So it's, you know, you can't argue with them because it's already embedded in, you know. It's hard for them to actually come out of that. The ruling classes for thousands of years have understood the power of intentionally evoking fear in their subjects as a means of social control. This is a quote from Voltaire. "Those who make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities." The power of fear, eh? When one is gripped by fear, the rational and higher cognitive capacities shut down, making one easily manipulated by anyone that promises safety from the threat, even if it's imaginary. So in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 7, "Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil." You don't join evil, you depart from it. You don't join the devil, you resist him and tell him to flee. You know, you don't obey a corrupt government. Now, I don't mind the system. The system is created, this, you know, hierarchy system. I mean, we have Christ, we have the husband, we have the wife and the kids. It's the same with the whole society as well. I don't mind it at all. And in fact, I can be obedient to the higher powers. If only the higher power was compassionate and caring and served the people. That's how it works. Now, if it's corrupt and is damaging the people and destroying their morale, like, hello? Are you supposed to obey that? No. You're supposed to call them out and say, no chance. We're not having that. You know, a system is good. Of course it's a good thing. God created that. But it has to be compassionate. I mean, if I was an employer, I would love my employees. I will give them everything they need. And then they will serve me too. It works both ways, you know. Like, come on, people. Use your noddle. Get your cranium out your rectum, innit? So I want to quote Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. "Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. I've read chapter by chapter and so many verses about do not be afraid of man. Only fear the Lord. What is going on? What is going on? And let me quote this from a philosopher named Seneca. There are more things likely to frighten us than there is to crush us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So this imaginative, invisible virus that people are afraid of. Okay, I know I'm ranting away and everything. I don't know. I mean, I've had one-to-one with the Lord. I've spoken to some of my brothers in Christ, and you know, I'm not the only one who's feeling this way. You know, I'm not afraid. I never have been. You know, I come from a Sikh faith, and fear was taken out a long time ago, mate. You know, and on top of that, I've had a hard life, and so I don't fear nothing except for the Lord. You know, so mate, seriously, there's something big gonna go down, man, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame that us people can't get together and say no to this. Yeah, I'm frustrated, man. I'm frustrated and I'm vexed up. My spirit is anyway, you know, and I'm just, I'm praying. I'm praying that people wake up before it's too late. People don't learn from history, do they? They really don't. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I hope you all, you know, are researching at home, you know, not just sitting there watching telly. Please don't. Seriously, I'm telling you, that is a weapon of mass manipulation. There's no doubt about it. That's why I chucked it out the window. Cool, I don't know, about 15 years ago now. So I suggest you do the same. Do your research, peeps, man. Seriously. Anyway, I love you people, man. I don't do this because, you know, I'm getting anything out of it. I mean, making videos is a long thing, man. I swear down. It takes me ages to edit it and put the right memes in there and what have you. You know, these things take long. To be honest, I understand why YouTubers, you know, have this kind of like full-time job. This ain't my full-time job, you know. In fact, I'm, you know, self-employed. So, yeah, it's difficult. It's really difficult being a single mum and making sure, you know, I provide for my children. I'd love for you to like and share the video. Let's try and get to as many people we can, because I'm telling you, soon enough we won't have this kind of platform either, because YouTube is censoring a lot, just taking off videos, and you know, they don't want people to know the truth, obviously. So, you know, it's been a shocker, I'm telling you. But yeah, cool, it's gone dark, innit? So anyway, I'll leave you with the rest of the video. God bless you. So I'm just going to say this again. I mean, I don't know how many times I've repeated myself, but here you go. A virus is a detoxing solvent that our cells produce to expel toxins. It is a non-active dead matter, and it is not airborne. Toxins are making people sick, not viruses.
So let me read you a quote from Arthur Furstenberg. He's an American author and activist on the subject of electromagnetic radiation and health. So, the flu never existed until the introduction of man-made electricity. The flu is not a viral illness. It's an electricity-induced disease. End of quote. The only way you're going to get this poxy man-made virus is when it's injected straight into your bloodstream. I mean, haven't you considered why this so-called coronavirus was patented in November 2018? I mean, how do you own a virus or a disease unless it's created, eh? Figure that one out. They've got everyone in fear mode and all paranoid, to the point they will be lining up for these vaccines. And voila! You've got it now, yeah. Don't be fooled, peeps. This is exactly how they planned it. The devil and its crew are more organised than your normal Joe public. Whilst they divide the people, they stick together to master these schemes. You know, I really can't see how, those who have been conformed to this stupid nonsense are ever going to go through any kind of persecution for the Lord. When the time comes to it, they won't have the balls, mate. No bloody way. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself. I am the Lord. And, it's just, it really does bother me. It really does bother me how, we allow this corrupt government to turn us against each other. It's just, yeah. And again, as I said, they're professionals at this game. They've done it so many times. This is how they've conquered many countries, with their same cunning ways. So see this Nazi meme here. I can't even pronounce it, but it's for your safety. We're doing this for you. To look after you. The government loves you. And sadly, those people fell for it. And we know exactly how that turned out, hey? If we keep silent, peeps, they're going to push it to a next extreme level. And trust me, it will be too late to do anything about it then. The enemy can't do nothing without your compliance. Hiding at home, conforming to ridiculous rules and clapping like idiots just gives them the sign to go ahead with their evil plans. You're not helping, peeps. I swear down. We, the people, must stand together. Speak up against the atrocities being carried out by this corrupt ruling class. I'm not advocating any violence, so don't even go there. I'm just clarifying that we need to raise our voices and call them out. They're bang out of order. When we stick together, they've got no chance. So in Luke chapter 6 verse 45, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. See, if I'm wrong, we don't lose nothing. But if you're wrong, we lose everything. See, I hope I am wrong. But I tell you what, after using my noddle that God provided me, I've been saying this since day dot, mate, there is something fishy going on. And when we question the narrative, the media continues to use words like crazy conspiracy theorists. Well, I don't really care. I'd rather be with a few. Thank you very much. And you know what? It doesn't bother me the slightest if people hate me for the message that I'm putting out there, Like, it ain't for the faint-hearted. I'm led by Jesus Christ of Nazareth. The Jesus mentioned in the King James Bible, by the way. You know, most of the professing Christians take offence when I ask to test the spirits. Like, why are you asking me? But it's clearly written in 1 John chapter 4 verses 1 to 4. And you people know who you are. I'm a warrior for Christ. I will defend what is right according to his perfect will. I ain't shaking hands with no devil, mate. James chapter 4 verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. There you go. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 6. So that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me.